Congratulations! You've connected with the Pulpit Perspectives Podcast. Join Reverend Doctor Kent Lundy as he connects with pastors where they preach, literally at the pulpit of their church. It's a point of view with purpose and personality that informs and inspires with real-life stories from great preachers you need to know. Your host is Reverend Doctor Kent Lundy. Let's join Kent at a pulpit with a fresh perspective from his guest preacher.
Hello and welcome to Pulpit Perspectives Podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy. Pulpit Perspectives Podcast exists to create connections amongst the North District clergy and their congregations. I'm standing at the pulpit in the sanctuary of Trinity on Jackson United Methodist Church in Elkhart, Indiana, with Deacon Lori Grasty. Lori, welcome.
Hi.
Glad to have you as a guest. So how long have you been under appointment here at Trinity on Jackson United Methodist Church?
So I have worked here for 14 years. I have been appointed here for about 5.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. All right. Now, you have another role, ministry role. You want to say a word about that?
Yeah, so I do some work for the district. I'm the Children Mattermost coordinator for the district, and I do some work for the conference as the Growing Young specialist.
Wow. What do you do in your free time? Yeah, what free time? All right. All right. Well, so what brings you joy?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of things that bring me joy, but I have a heart and love working with kids. I love ministry that's really creative. I love summers where we're doing summer camp and creative arts camp, and every day is a little bit different. So that definitely is my favorite time of year in terms of ministry.
Okay, wonderful. That's good to think about in the middle of winter.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so when did you know you were called to vocational ministry?
It was kind of a process. I started doing upward ministry, which is basketball sports ministry. I had a background in Christian programming, working at the YMCA and things like that, and just kind of kept getting my foot a little bit further into the church. And then one night I had a dream that I was at my desk with our preschool, which is right next door to us, and they had a sign on my door that said Pastor Lori Grasty. And I was not a pastor at that time. I was the Children and Family Ministry Director. So I took that sign off and I continued on my day, and then I returned to my office and that sign was still there. And I took it off again, and one of the preschool teachers said to me, and she was somebody who was on staff that I knew very specifically, and she said, "Why do you keep taking that sign off?" And I said, "Well, because I'm not a pastor." And she said, "Yes, you are." And I woke up that morning and I thought, well, shoot, that makes it very inconvenient. So I kind of wrestled with that for a little while and tried to figure out what that meant for me in my life. And my husband and I kind of prayed about it and thought about it. And then a couple years later, I began the journey of becoming a deacon and going into seminary and all of those things.
And now look at you.
I know.
Well, thank you for saying yes.
Yes.
Awesome. That is wonderful. Okay. So speaking of basketball, you mentioned upwards basketball. Yeah. Speaking of basketball, I love basketball myself. Mm-hmm. So pretend with me that ministry is a basketball game.
Okay.
And you're out on the court dribbling the ball, and you look up at the home court advantage of those cheering you on.
Okay.
Who's up in the stands cheering you on, doing what you do in ministry?
Yeah, so definitely my family. My husband, my children, my parents, in-laws, they have been all very supportive of my ministry journey, and my kids and my husband have been a part of it all. My children have grown up in this church while I've been doing this ministry, so they've helped coach basketball and soccer and all the things. My youngest and her friends sometimes refer to me as Pastor Mommy, which is fun on our retreats and such and camp and things. So definitely them. But I would also say Trinity on Jackson Church. They have been huge champions of my call to ministry. And it has just been fun to celebrate, especially last year with ordination. Mm-hmm. We had a ton of people down there, and it was great to be with them. And they have been so supportive of my children growing up in this church and just my call to ministry and what that's looked like.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Okay, mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah. So where do you go to recharge?
I like being home. I like to travel, but just a basic recharge, I like to, organize something around my house or do some cooking or just spend some time by myself, mowing the yard, gardening. I have lots of home hobbies, but I do like to travel. I like to explore, go new places. My parents are in Florida and also South Carolina, so we try to get out to see them. So that normally gives us a break and a little bit of warm weather too.
So what's your go-to mode of transportation to get to those places?
If money wasn't an obstacle, it would definitely be flying. But seeing as we have a family and a dog, that's not really in question. So we generally drive.
Okay. All right. Do what you got to do.
Yep.
So what's your go-to Bible verse?
Oh, that kind of depends on the season. I go through different seasons. I guess we do a third grade Bible dedication, and I like to put in the 2 Timothy verse of don't let anybody look down on you because you're young. Just a reminder that, our faith comes to us at all different stages and that we can all be champions and we have something to say. In other seasons of my life, I love the psalm that says, be still and know I'm God. For me, I'm a busy person and it is hard for me to be still. So sometimes it's a reminder for me that I need to not get ahead of God's plans and just see how I'm called to participate in whatever activities are going on.
Be still. That is so countercultural.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. But what a sacred endeavor.
Right. For sure.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So have you ever been axe throwing?
No.
Okay. Well, pretend with me you're going to go axe throwing.
Okay.
You get to bring one person from Scripture. So who are you bringing and why that person?
I think I'm going to bring Ruth.
Ruth. Okay.
Yes. If you were to say you're preaching Sunday and you have nothing prepared, that's my go-to. So I just love that story. And I kind of feel like she's not going to throw the axe at me. She'd walk alongside me.
Okay.
So,
all right, so
I feel like I trust her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd take her with me.
So what would you ask her?
I would ask her about her loyalty, what lessons she has for me in that. She stepped into a place of boldness and followed a commitment. And so I would, I think we all can learn something about that for our faith in those moments. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah. Ruth and Lori.
Yep.
Axe champions of the world.
I don't know that we'd be champions. No. I think we'd be quietly cheering other people on.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Although you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know until you pick up the axe and let it rip.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. What lesson have you had to learn the hard way?
I think just patience. I am not a patient person. And there are some things that I have tried to push in ministry. And I've just learned that you can't do it unless you have the support of a team around it or the support of God in that ministry. And so just learning to kind of sit on whatever excitement or eager ideas that I have that I'm ready to just kind of steamroll right through, I've just learned that there is no benefit to doing that. Mm-hmm. And so it is a challenging journey, but I just try to be patient. And, if I have an idea that I think is going to be brilliant, I write it down and sit on it and pray on it for a really long time before I really get that movement that it needs to go.
Mm. And what a great connection with the psalmist saying we need to be still. I mean,
yep. For sure.
There's a stillness in being patient and what power there is in that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So what's an ordinary place that's extraordinary to you because of what's happened there?
Gosh, that's a hard question. I think my default would be probably Camp Lakewood. I don't know that you would call it an ordinary place, but every summer I return, and I've been doing this pre-COVID, post-COVID, And every year it's different. And I think sometimes when you revisit the same place and you kind of pick up on a different chapter, it makes it really unique and special. And so I can think about the times that I led a week of camp before I was ordained, before seminary, and then other times when I step into that space with different teams alongside me. My own children went to camp when I was first starting, and now they are counselors there with me. So it's become just kind of part of my story. And so, yeah, it's extraordinary for a lot of reasons, but I think it's special because of the way it's kind of woven into each summer and how it just kind of represents different times in ministry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on the one hand, it's a bunch of trees,
Yep.
some hills, a few buildings, a
Sure.
swimming pool, a lake.
No swimming pool.
No swimming pool?
No.
Oh, no more? Okay. Yeah, I'm dating myself. All right. Oh, I'm thinking of adventure.
Yep.
Sorry. So yeah, shows you what I know. So yeah. So yeah, on the one hand, no big deal. There's lots of that in Indiana, right?
Yep.
But on the other hand, God's presence has shown itself to you in such an incredible way that is no ordinary place.
Yeah, and I think also, like, one of the ways I can definitely tell that God has changed my heart is just in my compassion for children. You know, there are times I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure that I was being called to ministry specifically for children, but now I just know there are certain times that, you know, there are really challenging kids that, you know, they are looking you in the eye and lying to you. And I can feel in my heart just a way that God's transformed me in that area. And I just can, you know, have such, I don't know, just compassion for them and where they're at and the struggles they face. And so I've felt that growing, and I see that in camping too, you know, that you have these kids that come to you in the first week and then you get to know them over the week of camp, and it just really transforms your relationship. And I think you grow in your depth of understanding of yourself and them.
Yes. All right. Thank you for that. Yeah. So what do you hope your fellow clergy know? Whether you think of them individually and personally and up close or more at a distance, and think of them as a group, as a community, what do you hope they know?
I don't know. I hope they know a sense of purpose, that they're there for a reason and they feel fulfilled in what they are doing. I know sometimes it can be isolating and it can be challenging and lonely, and I just hope that they know that they're connected. I value our connection so much, and I know others that do, and that has been new to me. I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't grow up in the United Methodist Church. And so when I encounter somebody that just isn't connected because they've moved from a different conference or they just don't know the area, I would just hope that they know that there's a place for them and that they're here for a reason. And yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Thank you. Last question.
Okay.
And I appreciate your time. So when you think about the future of being under appointment here at Trinity on Jackson, however long or short that is, it's not the point. What three words come to mind when you think of the legacy you want to leave here?
I think joy. I want children to be here and families to be here because it's fun. I think ministry should be fun. I think church should be fun. I don't think we should be serving because we had to serve or we felt forced to serve, but I think there should just be joy in it. And I want kids to want to come, and I want families to want to come. And so I think that that's important. I think it should be fun and joyful. Also, community. I think it's important to be connected. And I think we live in a world that can be really disconnected. And I would hope that they would feel a sense of community, and that no matter where they're at, no longer how long they've been a part of a church family or if they've ever been a part of a church family, I would hope that they would feel like they could find a family here. And then finally, just an authenticity, like a vulnerability or authenticity that you can just be who you are, that you don't have to come here because you're perfect, but that you can bring your imperfect self here and we can grow together and we can journey together, and you don't have to have anything prepared, but that we can just be there for one another on good days or bad days or hard days or whatever it might be. I think sometimes there's a misconception that you go to church when you're really ready for it or you're perfect or you've had this experience. And I don't know, I think there just needs to be a vulnerability and authenticity in knowing that you can be who you are and that God's willing to use you with whatever you have, if you're willing and able to let him.
Joy, community, authenticity.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be an amazing legacy.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that will be my hope and prayer for you as you continue to serve here at Trinity on Jackson United Methodist Church. Well, Deacon Lori Grasty, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
You're welcome. This has been Pulpit Perspectives Podcast, coming to you from the sanctuary at Trinity on Jackson United Methodist Church. I'm your host, Reverend Doctor Kent Lundy, signing off for now.
There you have it, a fresh perspective from the pulpit with a great preacher. You know you want to hear more. You can do just that by connecting with Pulpit Perspectives with Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy on Apple Podcast and Spotify, where you can like and follow the podcast. What's more, you can spread the good news about Pulpit Perspectives in your church and with your neighbors. Plan now on joining Kent at the pulpit, where you'll meet another great preacher on Pulpit Perspectives.